Hello and welcome to the OMFL Atlanta Falcons review. I'm your host, Mike Fleury, and I'm going to be trying to do these a little bit different from now on. I think I'm going to do them for every game. A little first half of the video will be the lead up to the game, my thoughts, what I'm looking to do, and the second half will be the recap and this is what happened and so on and so forth. Hopefully with the highlight video laid over top. Means I got to do probably 16 weeks of highlight videos, including all the losses, but at least I won't have to worry about gold incentives. So we're going to get started. It's the week 1 Buffalo Bills game. I played Maniac 3, now 3 of the first 4 seasons, usually early in the season. He's beaten me 2 times in a row entering into this one, but they've all been pretty close games. So I expect it to be mostly close. At very worst, maybe one of those deceiving, 10, 14-point wins that really just got away at the end, but they were really 7-point games for most part. At least I hope so. I expect him to win. It's funny, Nate said on Press Pass Live that I am confident bordering on cocky, and I laughed because every season that I've done the reviews, I have started the campaign by saying that my team's probably going to be 5 or 6 wins and out of the playoffs, which sounds really weird from somebody who is borderline cocky. Now, this season's no different. I have myself scheduled for probably about 6 wins. The issue being that I'm still not 100% comfortable with my defense. The defensive line just didn't come together the way I wanted it to in the offseason. I have some pieces. It's just not what I want it to be, unfortunately. My secondary is improving. Brought in first-round pick Tevin Hampton, 94 speed. He's a solid cover guy. He's going to take a little time to develop. At least in this game, to start the game, I'm intending on putting him as the third corner, and Winthrop, who is above him, will be my slot guy. So when he's in the slot, Winthrop will take over on the outside. That's at least the plan, to give him at least some experience, but not rely too heavily on him. That might change. Winthrop has this weird, he looks very good, and then he plays and he's just constantly getting beat. I'm hoping he'll be better this time around, but if not, I'm gonna have to make a move. Maybe move Bernard up. Maybe get Winthrop more plays. I want to get him up as quickly as I can. He's getting close to another level up, which would make him probably 80 overall. I'm going to keep pumping points into him because he is my import for one of either the free one or the platinum. It doesn't really matter. So we're gonna focus on the defense. It's gonna be rough to start. My teams usually are rough to start the campaigns. Takes a little time to get them situated and figured out, but eventually I get there. So hopefully we can come out of the gate firing, but if not, I'm not too worried about it. I also have a new defensive tackle to build up. He's got a dev trait, but he's very raw. It kind of reminds me of Mason Smith to start, except I'm not going to pump as many like gold tier points into him because I have Tevin Hampton, obviously, and Shane Gaffney, my new starting quarterback. Don't know what to expect from him. He has really good passing traits. His passing traits are, in most ways, better than um, Michael Penix Jr. The areas where he's a little weak are his awareness, which I don't think matters for user-controlled QBs. He's obviously not as fast. Breaks tackles better, and he changes directions better, which is weird. And his play action is significantly worse, and that could be a problem, but his short accuracy is better, his medium accuracy is a little better, his deep accuracy is about the same, maybe a little bit better. Throw on the run, throw under pressure is about the same. So he's 22. He's definitely my import. I'm really hoping I can keep him for one cheap season going into next Madden. I'm going to just see how he feels. It's going to be, interesting to see what throws he can make, what throws he can't. All Pro is going to be a difference maker and all that. But also, they changed all the sliders, so it might not be quite as easy to throw the ball as it was in the first two seasons. The first two seasons weren't easy, but it won't be the same. It'll be a little different. So those are the things I'm worried. Like I wouldn't say worried, but those are the things I'm looking at for the first game. As I said, I don't expect to win the first game. I'm just trying to build out this offense, figure out what works and what doesn't, figure out what I have. We're at the point in the cycle where we're starting to wind down, and I've got to figure out what I'm bringing with me next Madden in terms of playbooks, because I'm going to have mostly the same team with a couple of exceptions. The offensive line won't be as good, but I can fix that. The corners won't be as good, but I can fix that. Defensive line will actually be a little bit better to start anyways. The big concern is that I wanted Brian Thomas Jr., who's a really big part of my offense. I'm going to have to figure out a way to replicate him in next Madden. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to Nice Song or see if I can make a trade and get BTJ back, but I'll have to rebuild him to do it. So we'll see. Anyways, we're about to play this game, so I'm going to jump off here, and you will hear next. At some point, maybe I'll build a midpoint segment change, GIF animation, like video thing. We'll see. Anyways, I gotta jump off because we're about to play. So you will hear me again in a couple seconds right after the game.
The game against the Bills went about as I expected. My defense usually takes a couple weeks to figure itself out. I know that my run defense is going to be a bit hit or miss, and in this one, outside of about 40 or 45 yards on 2 carries, I mean, they were pretty good. That leaves about 16 carries and about 50 yards for Cook. So I thought we did mostly okay keeping him in check, but he threw for 70% passing. He didn't hit huge yards, but we didn't really shut him down on third down. We couldn't jump any routes. I tried to give Oscar Winthorpe another chance in the starting lineup. Here's the thing. You look at his attributes on paper, and he looks like he should be a really good corner. Maybe not blazing speed. He's only got about 90 speed, but he looks like he should be really solid in coverage. And then you play him, and he's just never in the right spot. And he's just always a little behind. And it's not just speed, it's on every route. And It's incredibly frustrating because I really want to give him a shot because I see why Hurt drafted him. He looks like he should be a stud, but he plays worse than any corner I've had at roughly the same level. Like Tyson Campbell, Andre Sisco, even Oscar Bernard on the Falcons. So it's really difficult to keep putting him in the lineup, but as star development 24-ish corner, you really want to give him every chance. My general thought would be to maybe bring Jesse Bates down and have Lattimore Bates with Bernard and Hampton as the cornerback room. But safeties are so important in All-Pro that it's hard to sacrifice the over-top coverage, especially without a contingency plan. I have some young safeties I'm building up. I don't know if they'll get to be playable by the time we switch games. That might be one of those situations where I might be able to bring one of them with me to next Madden as part of the play every game in the last season incentive. But there is no easy answer for the situation. Either way, the Bills picked apart my coverage. The game was closer than the score is going to say. It ended up being a 14-point loss. It was mostly a 7-point game for the duration. The only problem was we kicked field goals where he scored touchdowns. We entered the fourth quarter, I believe, down just 7. My rushing attack was non-existent, but to be fair, I lost Bijan Robinson in the first quarter on, I think, my second drive. It was my first drive. 1 carry, he chop blocked a defensive lineman on a pass block and dislocated his shoulder, and he was out for the rest of the game. So my run game wasn't there, unfortunately, but my pass game was pretty good. Shane Gaffney was fine. He missed a couple passes I would have liked him to get. One of them was my fault. I led outside when I should have led up. The other one, just floating a ball a little too far. Some of that might be sliders, and I'm going to have to get used to that and adjust that read. But overall, I didn't hate how my offense played outside of the red zone, where I got to figure out how to get into the end zone more. Bijan Robinson would help me with that. Unfortunately, I just didn't have him, so we'll get there. We're going to keep piecing it together, but as far as a first game, 16 points isn't enough. We'd like to get in the 24 to 28 range, but again, if 2 of those drives go for touchdowns, we're in that scoring range. One of them we ran at a time at the end of the first half, so there were opportunities, and we'll continue tinkering with the offense and get it figured out. It was pretty good. It felt good outside of a couple throws and obviously the rushing game, but we expected to lose a little bit to begin the season. Got a game against the Jags coming up. That'll be my the next video. Hopefully this will be up sometime Friday, and the other one will be up probably Saturday. So that's going to do it for this episode of the OMFL Atlanta Falcons review. As always, I'm your host, Mike Fleury, and I will try to do better next time.